1 second.
It's March 5th, 2012, and the appointed hour has arrived. I'd like to call this meeting of the Norfolk City Council to order and inform you that this is a public meeting. Public meeting notice is on the wall in the northwest corner of this room for anyone who wishes to read it. I'd like you to all take a moment now and stand and take a moment of silence and a pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And as for roll call, please.
Coy.
Here.
Lange.
Here.
Merrill.
Here.
Clausen.
Here.
Murin.
Here.
Brenneman.
Here.
Faust.
Here.
Saunders. Here.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Any discussion? I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
Entertain a motion to approve the regular agenda.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
Okay, we have a special presentation and the recreation update. Dennis? Or
Yes, I'm going to do it tonight. We're continuing to make progress at the Veterans Memorial Park. During the last couple of weeks, they finished pouring the last of the floors in the multipurpose building. They've got the masonry units up in the east wing of the building, about half of them up in the center section. The mason was back working again today in there and plans to stay there until he's completed, which is estimated at 2 to 3 weeks with his masonry work. For the last of the wave pool mechanical building room, they've got the roof on that building left to pour, and then some wall sections of the wave pool. There's continuing to do some work in the mechanical building as far as the pipe layout and putting equipment in there. The Nemaha is continuing to work on things that they can do at the baseball area, waiting for better weather. Need to dry out. They've got some concrete flat work that they need to do. They put up the nets behind home plate. Still have some adjustments to do on those, put up some handrails in the last couple of days. The electrician is there finishing up that, starting to pull wires to the lights and those things. So getting ready for lights on March 17th in the baseball facility and June time frame on the aquatics facility. So answer any questions you might have.
any questions from the council? Thank you, Dennis. The next thing on the regular agenda is consideration approval of change order 2 with McElhenney Contracting Incorporated for contract 3 general construction of Norfolk recreational improvement bond phase 2 project, resulting in a net increase of $13,977. Dennis, could you address this?
Yes, I can.
I better have a motion first on this.
So move consideration.
Motion to consider the approval of change
Second.
order number 2.
This change order is a grouping of several different things that have been going on down at the pool over the last 2-3 months. There's several add items here, and there's several deduct items on this change order. Probably the two biggest cost items in there is that there's a water softener system that's an increase of about $30,000, and there's a $11,000 or $12,000 decrease for changing the pipe material on the storm sewer system. This nets out to a $14,000 change order. I guess I could go through each of the items if you'd like, or answer questions. That's the general. We're within the budget for change orders on this contract. So,
Any further discussion from the council?
Your Honor, I will be abstaining from voting on this.
Dents, can you touch on items 13 and 14?
yeah, let me get to. Which one?
13 is the 3x3x1/4 perimeter angles and at the tubular steel spacers.
Okay.
14 is the joist one.
All right.
Go ahead.
The tubular angular one is related to the requirement for some additional steel on the end of the building that wasn't showing up on the drawings. It's between the outriggers on the ends of the building. That's what that one is. And then the joist one was that the loading on the skylights was higher than what was anticipated during the initial design. That required some heavier duty joists to be in there. These final contract amounts are actually less than what the supplier and the fabricator requested, but Mr. Burbach was able to have some discussions and was able to get these amounts into what we're seeing here tonight.
So am I reading his tabulation correctly that 14 appears to be approved and in change order number 2, which we're looking at, but item 13 is rejected and not included? And I should have ran a total on everything, but his items go from change order 1 all the way through, I believe.
That angle they ended up that one did end up not being approved. And the heavier joists, and there was some approval, and I'm not seeing it for the end spacers.
And I guess the reason I was asking, I knew about item 14 because the fabricator actually called in, was discussing it with me some that way, and his concerns of what was or wasn't shown. And 13 has me a little concerned in so much as it appears that unless Mr. Burbach was planning on paying him for that, or Burbach was going to pay direct for that and not run it into the contract.
I don't think so. I think they agreed that was covered, but Either that or we still have some coming.
The last that I knew from the fabricator was that they were anticipating some type of compensation for that, because in all reality, the documents did not show that very clearly, and the note that it's common knowledge, I think is somewhat lame. But maybe that's coming back on a different change order.
I will have to clarify that. It was my understanding that we were paying for some upsized joists and we were paying for some tubing in the ends of the building between the outriggers. And that's what the number 14 says in our brief description under change orders, and that the angle was part of the original contract, but I can clarify that.
If you could. So I know I'll be getting a call after tonight, so. That's all I have.
Do you think we should put this on hold
No.
until we get
No,
these answers?
I do not think we should put it on hold, because I will guarantee this will not be the last change order that's occurring on that project. I suspect not, anyway.
And even
we won't get a credit one coming even yet. So, but if you put it on hold, then the contractor who's already performed this work and has completed a bunch of this doesn't get paid for it until it's passed. And considering that the joists and deck have been out there since December time or January, one or the other, and we're now into March, we're playing with house money for a long time there.
And even if this is the only change order, we can do another one.
That's always the case.
And what's probably more critical in this whole thing is that I want approval on the softener system before I pull the trigger on that one.
Okay.
And that softener system came from a suggestion from the plumber, who has indicated that these mixing valves that we have in these systems are getting so sophisticated that a little bit of lime in there creates havoc. And he was talking about another facility in Norfolk where they were having to go in on about a weekly basis and do maintenance on them to keep them operational. So I think in the long run it will more than pay for itself over the life of this facility. And so
Do we have to add a copy? Do we have to add a condition to this?
No. It's just a matter for, the motion was for approval of it.
Motion is for approval of the 13,977.
Your Honor, I'd call for the question.
Question is called. Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, Councilmember Murin abstaining, motion carries.
Okay, that brings us to item 22, authorization to proceed with the contract from J.H. Hesby Company. And I need a motion to consider this.
Your Honor, before I move forward on this, I have direct conflict of interest, and so I won't
Understood.
be staying here.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to authorize contract change with J.H. Hesby Company for the household hazardous waste building. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, Councilmember Lange abstaining, motion carries.
That brings us to the end of the regular agenda. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion, Your Honor.
So moved.
I wanted to say, this is on Thursday. Too quick. I was just going to say, make sure that the public's aware that this is on Thursday. Let's see if calling Jerry, and that's not right.